Hello and welcome to Paranormal NL, a place where Newfoundlanders can share their paranormal experiences. Today I have on the line with me a person who'd like to share their experience. Go ahead.
All right, so this happened on Windgap Road out around the Flatrock area. Me and a few friends, we had two cars between the five of us. We were driving down Windgap Road, of course, telling the story and laughing about it, whatever. So we decided it would be funny to park the cars on the side of the road and shut them off and see if anything happened. So as the cars were both shut off, my car was parked behind my friend's car. The next thing we know, his reverse lights come on and he starts backing into my car, pulling forward and backing into it again, over and over. I call him to be like, hey, what's up? Can you stop hitting my car? For him to tell me that his car is not on or moving.
Well, that's strange, definitely.
Yeah. So we got pretty freaked out. We tried to start the cars up again and go. So my car, when I went to turn it on, the battery had just been replaced earlier that day or a couple days prior. The car would not start. So we kept trying, and eventually it did turn on. So then at that point we took off, got out of there. We still have no idea what happened, how it happened, but we were pretty freaked out. I never went on that road again after that.
Yeah, that is a pretty strange story. You know, there's been some other people who shared their story. I'm just going to tell you about another one that somebody had posted. I won't say their name, but I'll go ahead and read what he wrote in his words. He said, 6 or maybe 7 years ago, I used to drive down that road, meaning Windgap Road and Flatrock, and turned off onto an old farm road where I used to go and park. One night around 2 a.m. I started to drive out of the old farm road and back into the pavement. Just before I got to the pavement, my battery died out of nowhere, right? Similar to yours. So me and a friend that was with me began to walk, but turned around really fast because we had a strong feeling we were being watched from the trees on both sides of the road. After about 20 minutes, I told my friend I'll walk out the road myself and for the person in the car to stay in the car and lock the doors. As I began walking, I had the same feeling, only this time not only did I feel like I was being watched, but I could hear I was being followed by something in the woods on both sides, so I called my brother. All of a sudden, my phone went completely quiet with a bit of static in the background. Whatever was in the trees following me began to get closer and closer. So I started to run while talking into the phone, telling my brother I was being followed. I thought he couldn't hear me, and I began running to get to the main road. And as I began to run, whatever was in those trees decided to run right alongside me, but in the trees. When I finally got to the main road, my phone service came back. I said to my brother that I must have lost service, and my brother's reply was, he could hear every word I said, clear as day. There was no problem with his phone on his end, and he could also hear what sounded like someone else running through the trees. Keep in mind now, this was about 2 o'clock in the morning. But while we were there on that FM road and parked in the field, we could see figures in the distance just standing around the trees. That was years ago now, and I have not been down that road since, and I probably never will. So this continues as it gets even worse. I told this story to a friend from down that area, which is Flatrock, Windgap Road. He told me I was crazy to walk that road alone at that time of night, 2 o'clock in the morning. Long story short, he had a friend that was in the back seat of a car, and he asked the driver to pull over because he couldn't wait to get to the bathroom. And after about 5 minutes, when he didn't get back to the car, the others got out to see what he was doing. But the guy was nowhere to be seen or heard. After about 5 days, they got a call saying that he was in the hospital in a coma and had a broken arm. And when the guy woke from the coma, they asked him what happened. The scary part that freaks me out, his reply was, when he got out of the car and walked around to the back of the car, he said all he could remember was that he was smacked across the back of his head. And when he opened his eyes to look and see what was going on, he was being dragged across the top of the trees.
Oh my gosh.
And then he said, after my own experience and that other guy hearing that story, he said, I'll never go down that road again.
No, I haven't even, not even in the daytime have I even tried.
You know, we've driven down that road several times and I had no idea about it. Like, absolutely none. And that road continues down to the Flatrock beach.
Yeah.
And there's also a lily pond there that people say that the witch comes out of the lily pond. Now there's several other ponds along that road there, and as you get to that area, and some people have said that they've seen a woman on the road, and they said there might be some history of a car going off into the road, and some other people have said that the person tries to get into the car and push them off the road to make their car go off the road. It's very scary.
It definitely is. Like there's something up with that road.
And it's interesting what you said about the battery, because you know when you think about paranormal things, a lot of times they talk about the batteries being drained.
Right. Yeah. Like the presence of it drains it.
And another interesting thing about that road, if you continue along that road, you know where it ends up? You keep going and it ends up over by the grotto, which was where the Pope came and blessed that area. Well, apparently somewhere, I'm not sure where, in that area, there was some kind of a house that had a demonic possession or something. Now, this is all hearsay, urban legends, but it's very interesting to hear so many people talk about it.
Yes, for sure.
Well, thank you for being on our paranormal podcast today and talking about your experience of the Windgap witch. So if anybody is out there listening right now and want to share their story on the Paranormal NL podcast, just head on over to Facebook, Paranormal NL, and reach out to us on Messenger like she did, and we can share your story anonymously, or you can tell us who you are and connect with other people having the same experiences as you. So take care, everyone, and have a great day. I'm going to